When all us gray-headed people are gone, y'all gonna be in trouble. This is Shannon's carpet shop here. He put the carpet in the trunk and fixed it all. We made this. This goes over the keyless brains over here. Get over here and you can catch that. That's our keyless for the electric door locks, electric trunk lock. That's the cover for it. And then these pieces, this will go in the side over there to cover the quarter panel. And we got another one laying up on top of the car, it goes on this side. It's gonna be trashy when we get through with it, but we're just getting started. Wait a minute, let me turn the light on. I don't know if you want to get up on the dash to look at this thing. That's an I Did It tilt steering column going up under there. On the end of the steering column is electric power steering. That's what all this is up here. That's electric power steering. The car's gonna have electric power steering. We're trashy. Shannon painted the dash, came out beautiful. That's a tilt column. Steering wheel's laying up there for it. That's the steering wheel that's going on it. We're gonna have the best Lancer in the country. It's gonna be better than all three of the others. That's about how many of them's left. And this is a CCP electric power brake unit. These are the wires for the engine. We just hadn't run them yet. But that's a CCP electric power unit. It hit the fender well, so we made a wedge-shaped wedge to go behind the power steering. It's about way thicker down there and real thin up here, and tilted it up.
I see that.
And then that's the forward look emblem that Chrysler had back then. We bead rolled that into the piece that we made there, and Shannon painted it, and then Vicki painted the forward look emblem in it. Now that you've seen the nice stuff, let's go over to the other side of the building. This is a 392 Hemi that was in this car that was supposed to be restored when Michael bought it. To start with, they didn't put new pistons in. They just took an old engine and run a hole through it and put old piston stuff back in it. That wasn't the real problem. The real problem started over here. This cylinder wall here is eat up with rust, so I'm sure that ring is done. Rust all over the top of the piston. That wasn't the real problem. We cranked it up. We didn't know about all this. We cranked it up. It ran, and it got noisy, and it got noisier. So we shut it down and said we got to adjust the valves because it had solid lifters. When we took the valve covers off, this side was bone dry. Not a drop of oil in sight. Nowhere. And that side had oil. So we took the rocker arms off, pressure put oil through them, sat down there on the floor with a bucket and pressurized the rocker arms, putting oil through them, figured out it was okay. I made a tool to go in the engine to spin the pump, because you can't buy one for this thing. If you can, I don't know where. Shannon ran the pump until the drill got so hot he couldn't hold it. No oil. There was about 3 drops come up through there. So, we decided to take it out. We took it out. We got 2 pistons here that had water in them, because the reason I'm sure of that, if you look at that piston, it's clean. If you get water leaking somewhere, it'll sandblast a piston. Water will clean a piston, just like make it look like brand new. See the one next to it, what it looks like? So, it's time to take out the camshaft, because the camshaft oils the rocker arms. The oil comes in the back, up through the pump, down the engine, down to the crank, and back up to the camshaft. Maybe. So we get the front off of it. We go to try to pull the cam out. Can't pull the cam out of the motor. It won't come out. It won't come out. We took a big screwdriver, tried to push it out. It won't come out. Shannon, where's your tool? Shannon rigged up this tool.
So there's the camshaft.
Screwed that in the end of the camshaft.
And normally this would go directly inside here.
Screwed it in there. I held these 2 pieces between the block and this piece while Shannon tightened the nut up till we got the cam to come out of the front bearing. Well, we figured it was okay now. We got it through the first set of bearings. It ought to come on out. No, didn't work that way. Step 2, I took this, clamped it onto Shannon's threaded bar, and slide hammered it out of the block. We had to beat it out of the block to get it out. So we get it out. It's time to find out why. Well, you see, put the cam bearings in. You can see this one right here. The hole's at 6 o'clock, right? Okay, that's where it's supposed to be. Yeah. If you look at the second one, the hole's at about 7 o'clock. So that cut the oil off to the cam bearing, cut the oil off to the rocker arms, because there's a hole in the cam bearing where it goes up through this passage right here, comes through the block and up into the rocker arms. Well, that hole's blocked off. There's no, where's our little rod at, Shannon? Here's one. We got a smaller one somewhere, but this will give you the general idea. There's no hole in there. So there's no oil coming up through. So now, we got to finish tearing it apart. It's got to have cam bearings, because that second cam bearing burnt plumb up. And it got messed up so bad, that's why the cam wouldn't come out. And hopefully we save the cam. But it's got to have a set of pistons. Lord knows what else. Now this was a motor that was supposed to be completely rebuilt and ready to run. It was painted up real pretty. See the valve covers over there? They're all painted and real pretty. But it sounded like a box of rocks when we cranked it up and run it, where all the valves were rattling so bad. Because these had no oil on this side at all. I mean, that head was bone dry when we took the valve cover off. No, it was running all 8 cylinders. There's no lubrication to the rocker arm. It wasn't going to run very long until it welded the rocker arms up. It would have welded to the shaft in just a little bit. I'll probably take all the rocker shaft and everything apart and maybe have to hone the inside the rockers or make sure there's not any moved metal in there or the shafts are hurt or anything. We spend half our lives with these cars that Michael buys fixing this stuff. I'm rather upset, in case you hadn't figured that out. And I don't even know who did this. I have no idea who did the engine. This whole car has been like this. It's just been a nightmare completely. But we're fixing it. Me and Shannon are going to get it straightened out. Shannon's done most of it. I'm his helper. You've never seen a converter like this. Look at this.
Yeah, it was a fun just ordeal getting that engine out of this thing.
That's the front of the converter. It has studs sticking out.
Bolts to the crank flange.
They go into the back of the block. Right here. And he didn't put any Loctite on the studs, so that one unscrewed the stud out. So now we've got to get that out, get the nut off of it, clean it up, and Loctite it back in there. Loctite is a wonderful thing.
This thing's been fun.
This is the stuff we fight all the time. It's just very aggravating. It's so nice to do it right the first time. It's so much easier. But people don't know what they're doing. That's just what the whole thing amounts to. They don't have any idea what they're doing. Then they make it pretty and sell it. I mean, you look at them valve covers. Oh boy, they're painted pretty. That's why I spent a lot of time on the valve covers. If they'd spent as much time on the engine as they, look at this valve cover. Man, is that thing painted up pretty? If they'd have spent as much time doing the engines as they did doing the valve covers, we wouldn't have all these problems. So that's where we are on this thing. I'm in a rather ill mood today, I'm sorry. My Lancer makes me happy. We look at the Lancer, we smile. We know it's not going to be long, we're going to be driving it. And it's going to be nice.
When you're done with that, we'll get a nice video of y'all driving it.
Oh, yeah. You've seen the engine sitting over on the engine stand. We made it pretty. You know, there's people like this be proud of us. We made it pretty. But you can crank it up and drive if we get through with it. I promise you can crank it up and drive it. When all us gray-headed people are gone, y'all going to be in trouble. Because there ain't many people like Shannon around. He's been with me for about 2.5, 3 years now.
Did you take any of the video underneath his dash? Have you seen how many electronics he has? There's only a finite amount of space underneath the dash of that Lancer, and he's used almost every inch of it. I mean, everywhere.
Putting all the wires up in there.
Yeah, did you see the panels and everything? Everything's mounted on under there.
I saw on the right side.
Yeah, there's
the whole thing is covered now in panels.
People don't realize how much stuff is in that little bitty car. I mean, it is. He's stuffing it full of electronics.
See, one of the problems with that car, there's really no dash. The dash comes straight off the windshield. It don't come out and come down where you got some room behind it.
See, with a tiny car like this, real estate comes at a premium.
No joke. And we still got to put air conditioning in. Well, you don't think we're going to ride around without air conditioning?
Where does that go?
Right about where your camera is. It's going to sit right there. It's going to be a hang-on unit. There's no place to put one out of there. I bought the smallest one Vintage Air had, and it wouldn't even think about going out of there. And we put, when you're in the trunk, that's a Chrysler electric trunk latch. Chrysler used the same basic trunk latch. Well, my 61 300G's got this same piece in the trunk, exactly. And we've put them on everything. There's very few cars that you can't just bolt that onto. And the key thing works and everything, and you hook up the electric trunk latch. Now, we had to weld a piece in right here on this one because it wasn't wide enough. I welded it, a little piece in right there, and put a nutsert in it, and that's where it's bolted there. And this bolt over here is a stock bolt. It located it perfect for the trunk latch. So you hit the button, it locks the door. You hit another button, it unlocks the doors. You hit another button, the trunk unlatches. And I'm trashy, so I wired the fourth button. It had a four function keyless. So I wired the fourth button to the horn. Because, you know, a new car, you hit the keyless to lock it, the horn blows. Well, I hit the keyless, lock it, and I hit the button for the horn, make the horn blow like a new car. That piece up there came out really good. It really did. Shannon just finished painting it.
It does look good.
We bead rolled it. We got that Mittler bead roller. I love that thing. That thing is so much fun. And then I got a lousy bead roller over there for the heavy stuff. The other bead roller, this is a kick panel that goes down, you know, by the, where your feet hit down there. Well, see, we hide stuff behind them. So we have to make them real tall. Well, this one actually goes on this side over here. And it's got a fuse panel and stuff behind it. So we hide stuff behind the kick panels. I put a computer behind one of them one day. And we use the lousy bead roller for that, because it'll do heavier steel. And that's welded together right there.
It's right there.
But I love doing stuff like that. And Shannon's getting better. He's learning. Shannon's my apprentice.
Shannon?
The apprentice programs last as long as I'm alive. How's that? About a month, we'll probably have it running, hope. We got so much going on is a problem. I mean, Jason's getting married, but that's great. That's my baby grandson, the first grandson I got is getting married. And we got several events coming up at the museum and people coming in town. But I love doing that stuff. It's fun. That came out much better than I thought it would, that piece up there. It just really, I'm really happy with it. It came out great. Really did. And we get the other pieces in on the sides, that's really gonna look good. I'm thinking about putting a mirror up here. I don't know if I can do that or not. I got a piece of mirror that I can cut and put in there. What do you think?
It'd be very unique, and
Yeah.
it'd suit the rest of your stuff on the car.
Yeah,
You can always take it out if you don't like it.
yeah.
I said, do it. Let's do it.
All right.